know, you've had some opportunities to come back in other situations too.
Yeah, I've had, opportunities, and I think I probably had gotten labeled that, I never would leave Georgia. And probably wouldn't leave Georgia, if it wasn't for Auburn. I work for a man at the University of Georgia by the name of Mark Richt, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And for us to be able to win at the level that we did, doing it the way we did it, I just got so much respect for him. And he's a man of integrity, he's a man of character. He cares about those young men, but he's still tough enough to coach them, to have them to be competitive, to compete in this conference. And Athens is a great place, but when I always talked about, Athens and Auburn, they're so similar. The cities are so much alike, the schools are so much alike. I think they're called sister schools, I think when people refer to them. So, it was a difficult decision. It was one that, we talked about, we prayed about, and, we just felt led that it was time, that, Auburn was calling me home, and it felt like it was a time of need. And not trying to toot my own horn, not saying that I'm the answer to anything, but it was just a time that I felt that I could go back and help my school in a way that I think my school has helped me. So if I can make any type of contributions, along those lines, then, I felt, led to do that. And that was the main reason, Kim's an Auburn grad, so, we were all on one page, one accord. We knew it was time, and we're just excited about it.
Rodney, talking about the defensive staff thus far, do you have a relationship with Coach Johnson and Coach Harbison? Your thoughts on?
I'm excited. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a lot of respect for Coach Johnson. I've never worked with Coach Johnson. I've always admired his work from afar, but I always had a good relationship with him. In fact, he was in line for the job at Georgia prior to Coach Grantham getting it. So we had a lot of dialogue and a lot of conversation going on between us during that time. And just over the course of my career, my cousin, he played for him at Southern Miss. So I just got to know Coach Johnson and just had a lot of respect for him. And then I've had a couple other buddies that actually worked with him, and they talk about what a great football mind Ellis has and how tough he is, and but he's fair and the kids love playing for him. It was the same things that I like. Then Cheese, Charlie, we call him Cheese. Same thing. I've never worked with Cheese, but just running into him on the road recruiting, just admiring his work, knowing that his kids play hard, they're fundamentally sound. All those that he's a disciplinarian. He does all those things the right way. So when I had an opportunity to go into that room and work with those men, and then also be under the leadership of Coach Malzahn, it was a no-brainer for me, because, I'm leaving a great situation. And that was a tough thing. I met with Coach Rick this morning, met with Coach Grantham again this morning. The chemistry that we had on our staff, it was unreal. I think I did an interview on the way out the door. One of the reporters was saying, well, those blogs are saying that you're leaving because there's a rift with you and Coach Grantham. I said, there ain't no rifts on our staff. I got the most respect for Coach Grantham. We sat down, we hugging and talking. Not that we're touchy-feely people now. We're not that. But he was just like, hey, G. He said, man, hey, I really enjoy working on it, Coach. I love working with you. He said, if I ever had the opportunity, I'd hire you again. I was like, Coach, I'd work for you again. In a heartbeat. It's that kind of thing. So it was great chemistry. And leaving those kids, because I had to talk to. I got a chance to address the defense this morning, in the team meeting room just like this. That was a tough situation. And like I told them, I wouldn't be standing before you making this type of statement to go into any other institution. I remember when Sean Payton, got the job at the New Orleans Saints, he came and tried to hire me, And not that I think, right now I didn't want to coach in pro ball at that time, but, it's after Katrina and all that, but I just always came back and I knew I didn't want to leave those kids, and as difficult as it was this morning to stand up there and tell them that I was leaving, at the same time, it felt so good knowing where I was leaving Georgia but coming to Auburn, you know, and I'm coming home. And, you know, and this is not a stopper, you know. My goal is to be here and finish off my career, you know, and not that I want to get somewhere and be complacent, because that's not it. I want to win championships. I want us to be competing for the Western Division Championship, competing for the SEC Championship, competing for national championship, and doing it on a consistent basis, not just being a one-year wonder or whatever. I want to be able, for Coach Malzahn, to be able to be judged on his body of work, you know, just like I feel like Coach Rick's body of work. And when I met with him, I saw a lot of the same characteristics in him that I saw, you know, in Coach Rick. And I know I was telling somebody, they said, what do you think about it? I said, I really like him. You know, I talked to Benji. I was like, Benji, he said, what do you think, G? I said, I really like him. I said, I like him. I said, I like the look in his eyes. I think he's tough. I think he's a competitor. And I said, he has a plan. I said, I don't know if it's going to work out for me to go there or not, but whatever it is, you know, we got to embrace him. You know, we got to get behind him. And that's what I told him. I said, whether I come to Auburn or not, I want you to know that the Letterman, you know, we're behind you. We're going to embrace you. We're going to do everything we can to help Auburn get back to the status that it belongs.